says poll, POLLEV.com/1MCND111. If you go to that URL, you will find a little box that says yes or no. And we will see the results live as you fill that out. So why don't we're gonna take a moment, have you fill this out, and we'll see. And then once we see what the real statistic is, I will tell you the number I've been telling to Kaufman, and we'll see what my measurement error is, okay? Ooh, look at this. Ooh, oh, this is fun. Adam, I think this is a keeper. I really like this. By the way, I guess the code changes whenever you set this up, and Adam said it took him about 10 minutes to get that 1MCND111. He had to keep generating until he got a number that was really good. So thank you, Adam, for your extra effort. How are we doing? Oh, we're starting to swing the other way. All right. I give it an, whoa. I'm not going to tell you yet because you're going to skew. See, right, if you knew what I told Kaufman, you guys would just mess with me and give it a completely different figure, wouldn't you? Oh, okay, we're starting, now once we start to settle in, hopefully we'll start to settle in, oh, wow. Great participation, everybody. I've got to tell you, this is something we're going to be using in future, not always this question, thankfully, because I'm going to take this data and that's what I'm going to use, which is not good statistics practices, in case you're wondering. I'm going to take a one-time sample, I'm going to apply it to all of our future. That is my predictive equation. All right. But we'll have other factoids. For example, we were talking with a coffee roasting company yesterday, whose name I will not tell you yet, and they are thinking about introducing some new flavors. And so, for example, we may have some different flavors and do a little polling. So come back and help us. Okay, guys, I think we're pretty darn close. So we're at 71 to 29, so about 70%. I have been reporting for the last 2 years that 25% of the people who come to 1 Million Cups. I know, see, my husband's raising his eyebrows at me. I know, I didn't know. Okay, now I know. Ooh, okay, well, I think if I'm in that 65 to 70%, I'm gonna have a pretty fair statistic. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna advance right now. Okay, yeah, 65%, good number, let's use that. Okay, well, thank you all. We're gonna be having some fun with that going forward. That's awesome. Just a quick thanks to our sponsors. I guess this is my self-serving slide, but no, thanks to everybody who helps us out. We do graciously pay rent here, and we do have a few coffee expenses and a couple of other expenses, and these folks really help us out, whether it be through in-kind donations or with financial donations. So if you would love to see your name in lights, just let any of us wearing the little orange organizer thing know, and we can set you up with that. All right. Aha. Oh, this is my cue to ask. Now that I know that 65% of you are entrepreneurs, how many of you, this is your first time at 1 Million Cups? Okay. Oh, ooh. All right, I've got 3. Usually the MCs are way more normal, so come back, it'll be okay. My first timers, welcome, welcome, fantastic. Well, we are here every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., and it's not just in Bismarck. This 1 Million Cups thing, this is a national thing. It's put together by the Kauffman Foundation. There are over 250 communities that every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., whatever their local time is, gather together. And it was founded on this idea that it provides a free weekly program where one or multiple entrepreneurs or community builders or different organizations come on stage. They tell their story. They share things about their challenges, their struggles, what was going very well, and they really share and really open up about what's going on with their business or their opportunity. And then there's a Q&A period after that, and it's this idea that we help lift up entrepreneurs and support them in our community. Fundamentally, the core question was, can we change the face of our startup community over 1 million cups of coffee? And we lost count on the coffee. We're not at 1 million yet, but we're a strong, I don't know, 10, 15,000. Well, no, we're pushing 100,000, I think. Okay, fantastic. Oh, and then as mentioned, we're going to have 2 different entrepreneurs come up. They're each going to share. They're going to tell their story. We're going to applaud wildly. It's going to be fantastic. And then at the end, I'm going to bring them all up on stage. We're going to populate this lovely seating area, and there'll be a chance to do some Q&A. And I'll remind you of this when we get there as well, but, oh, hello, sorry. We have a mic runner in the audience, so if you're here with us physically, we'll run a microphone over to you and you can ask your question. If you're feeling a little shy, you can use hashtag 1MCND and pose your question. And Kirsten's watching social media and she'll ask it on your behalf. If you're streaming live with us, all you have to do is put your question in the chat and in the comments area, and we are monitoring that, and again, we will ask your question on your behalf. All right? So you can interact, and I'm hoping you'll interact every bit as much as you did with our survey. All right? We want to get bombarded with questions. Be hard on these guys. Just whack, whack, whack. It'll be awesome. Sorry, guys. We always also have a chance for community announcements. Do I have anyone? I know I've got a few I'm going to make, but there we go, Lakin. I was starting to panic. I thought, no.
Hi, friends. It's good to be back. My name is Lakin Ani. I am Program Director at the North Dakota Women's Business Center, and I'm here today to talk about our Women's Leadership Program. That is a 6-month-long program where we talk about community, health, personal, and professional development. Applications are due March 1. So 20-person class. We walk you through that program in 6 months, and you can hang out with us and all of our incredible speakers and the rest of the classes. Janya, I'm still waiting for your application, by the way. Anyway, hit me up if you have questions, and see you soon.
Thank you.
We don't have a pretty slide, but I'm Cody Miller with Holivet Orthodontics, and we have launched a program again for this year. We had done it in 2019, where we gave free braces to 5 individuals who didn't have the means, but were needing them to build their confidence, and it's all in honor of a young boy named Hunter who lost his battle with cancer, and he was just shy of his 17th birthday when he passed away. And so yesterday was his heaven date, but KX News and KFYR and the radio stations have been really gracious to help us promote it. So if you know anyone, no matter their age, who's in need of a new smile and you want to help change their life, you can go to Holivet Orthodontics Facebook page and share a story of why they deserve this in honor of Hunter.
All right, any other community announcements, and then I will make mine. Okay, so round 2 of ERG is called HERG, and it is the hospitality grant. And just if you're in the hospitality industry, I know most of you are recognized as entrepreneurs, but hey, we have hospitality businesses as well. If you're in that, I really encourage you, even if you know about this, but you're not quite sure if you're eligible or whatever, go and check it out. I know that we've had a little bit of firsthand experience helping an organization, and it really does help if you've there are investments that you can make to boost people's confidence and get them back into your business. So go check that out. And then also COVID related, we've still got the rapid screening sites. And so you can see the hours and the different locations. Bismarck looks like noon to 7. All right? Someday this slide will go away and we'll all be very happy. Oh, and Lakin, you're in there twice. You don't want to remind us again? You don't want to call me out again? What? Okay. Yeah, I got through it. It's time. It's time to get our fabulous entrepreneurs up here. I'm super excited. I keep saying entrepreneurs, but hey, it's like your baby. It's also, right? So our lineup today, to just let you know, I think the theme for today is health, right? It's all about health. And you're going, wait, why didn't you do this in January? Well, because in January you had your resolutions to carry you through, but by February you're a total wreck, right? You've blown those things out of the water. So this is the time to talk about health. Also, probably mental health after the 2 weeks of weather we've just had, right? So yeah, we definitely need to talk about health. So our first speaker today is Mick Peterson. And I was first made aware of Mick when a flyer arrived at my home, which I don't usually open. But Mick's came in a hand-addressed envelope. And I've learned since that that was a lot of effort, right? But Mick started his very own business, and I'm going to let him talk about it. But it's called Health Now. And I remember when I read that brochure, thinking, this is really unique. This is really interesting. So later he showed up here, and I had a chance to meet him, and I started connecting the dots. So I'm not touching it. I don't know why it's going on its own. I swear. Okay. But anyway, I think he's got a great journey. He's early in his journey, and it's going to be very exciting to hear from him. Mick, come on up. You don't need this one, but you need that.
I need that. Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Mick, as Janya already introduced me. I don't know if that's not the beginning of my presentation. I don't know. I'll wait. I won't keep clicking buttons. Well, to get started, my name is Mick Peter. What? Okay. I don't have jokes. I don't make jokes. The stage is yours if you'd like it.
I'm sorry. This is either a save or meeting of Badinsky. Okay, so entertainment. All right. So you remember what I told you about the national days?
Yes.
Okay, so in the theme of health, today is National Cabbage Day. Seriously, there's a day for that. And so I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, I was going to give you each cabbage, but that could get a little bulky. So I was thinking little Brussels sprouts. So I was going to give everybody a Brussels sprout today, right? Like a little baby cabbage. But then I kept reading, and it said today is also National Random Acts of Kindness Day. And I thought, wow, I could celebrate National Random Acts of Kindness Day by not giving each of you a Brussels sprout. So, right? So I got both days in, and but no, seriously, it is National Random Acts of Kindness Day, which I think is pretty darn cool. And so maybe, Cody, I could roll that in. I can find somebody who would be very worthy and go and put that in on your Facebook page. But be thinking all day today about those little random acts of kindness, all right? Did I stall long enough?
I don't know.
Did I stall long enough?
We're good to go.
Oh, sweet.
Fair enough. Thank you. Yeah, and if you've ever had steamed Brussels sprouts, they're not pleasant to smell. So I do appreciate that. All right. No? It was until I press the button again. Did I go too far? Oh no! Yay! All right, there we are. Woohoo! Okay, well this is my second slide. Nonetheless, my name is Mick Peterson. I'm a family nurse practitioner. Some background about Health Now. I am the owner of Health Now. We are a virtual clinic. Some information about me. I am a family nurse practitioner certified through the American Association of Nurse Practitioners, or AANP. I graduated with my Doctorate of Nursing Practice from the University of Mary in April of 2017. Prior to that, my undergraduate nursing degree from University of North Dakota in 2010. I am licensed to practice in North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota, and I have my DEA license here in North Dakota. Short history about Health Now. It was born out of the idea of being a side hustle. I have been wanting to do something beyond working in a big facility to help out patients that in the way that I would like. And so it started out as a side hustle, after hours, weekends, and then the pandemic accelerated things significantly, and all of a sudden became the full-time side hustle. And so I've been at this since May of this last year, and it's been slow to pick up, but I'll talk about that in my challenges. The intentions was, the business model was built around subscription services to businesses, to be able to either provide some type of health care coverage for businesses that aren't able to afford health insurance, or they want to supplement their health benefits for their employees, or add a perk, something. And recently we've actually extended those subscription services to individuals and families for purchase. Again, it's a month-to-month purchase, that type of thing. Beyond the business model, from the professional standpoint, really what I'm aiming, or what the intention of Health Now is to get patients engaged in their health. An engaged patient, an educated patient is a patient that's going to have better outcomes, a better, longer, happier, better quality of life. And that's really the intent of Health Now. So my mission statement, I don't have it memorized, but to promote health, wellness, and improved quality of life for all patients, young and old, through active engagement, health promotion, and cooperation between patient and provider in a virtual setting. So how Health Now is different, I just want to take you through a quick scenario. So we've all been in here. It's been about seven days worth of sinus pressure, pain, just junk. You know that you haven't been, it's been viral, you're relatively reasonable with not jumping to conclusions about what it is, but it's been 7 days, you're just not over it. Got a little bit better, and then it got worse. Now you're blowing green stuff out of your nose, right? Like, okay, I know if I go to work, somebody's gonna look at me sideways and they're gonna send me home anyways, especially nowadays. So you're laying in bed, you're like, well, I might as well go to the clinic. So you get up, drag yourself to the clinic. You maybe spend 5-10 minutes, if you're lucky, waiting in line to get into the waiting room. And then the waiting room is a delightful place, right? You've got anywhere between 10 minutes to an hour worth of a wait. And then you've got 5 to 10 minutes with a nurse telling your story the first time. And then you wait another 5-10 minutes for the provider, whether it's a doctor, NP, PA, whatever. Then they come in, and because it's a walk-in, they spend 2 to 5 minutes with you, maybe, right? And they give you a prescription, and you're on your way. And it's a prescription you've never taken before. You have no idea what its side effects are, so on and so forth. And then by the time you're done, you're on your way to the pharmacy, and that's what, 2 hours worth of your morning, 2 hours worth of your day? Again, if you're lucky. Now, let's look at Health Now. You never have to leave the comfort of your bed. You get on an application. I don't care what you look like. I just want to take care of you. You get on the application, you sign in. Wait time is under 5 minutes. Really, it's for as long as it takes for me to get my phone out of my pocket or get in front of my computer. We talk. You talk to me the whole time, or my other nurse practitioner that I've been working with, Ashley. You talk to us the whole time. You tell your story once. We ask some pertinent questions. We make sure that we come up with a plan that's together and that we both agree upon, and then I give you education on what to watch for, what to look for, side effects, those types of things. And then the prescription will get sent to the pharmacy of your choice. Again, if a prescription is necessary. Sometimes pharmacies will even mail them to you. You can get it by the next day. So that's really what makes Health Now different. Wait time is short, one-on-one individualized care. It's not just running you through the mill. One thing I do want to point out is that we are a cash pay service. I don't process insurance, and that's how I'm able to keep my costs to my patients low. And there is a way for you to be able to submit those claims on your own, but I can answer those questions if you'd like to have more information on it later. So what does this come down to? Health Now is your easy button for healthcare. So some of the challenges. The pandemic has really helped bring about awareness for telehealth and telemedicine, but North Dakotans, we're a little late to the party on most things, and with telemedicine, it's not different there. We'll do what needs to be done, but we don't like change, but we can adapt if it's forced upon us. Competing, and another big challenge has been competing against the big institutions here in town. I work here. The bigger institutions have bigger advertising budgets. They're well known. Getting my name out there has been very difficult. To get people to even try a telemedicine visit is, again, we go back to North Dakotans being stubborn. And the last really big challenge has been the fact that Health Now didn't qualify for any of those rounds of loans. We haven't been in business for a year yet. We don't have any credit history. All of these different things. I haven't applied for any loans necessarily either. And that's on me. It's all been self-funded, but I'm trying to make it work without, again, I don't want to increase costs because I want to make sure those cost savings go to the patients. So what's next? Spread the word. North Dakota being mostly rural, those residents that are in the outlying areas of the state, they have to travel at least an hour most times to be seen, be heard, to have lab work, to get their prescriptions, those types of things. Health Now, you can be seen anywhere in the state. I can see anyone anywhere in the state. It doesn't matter. I can see anyone in Minnesota. I can see anyone in South Dakota. That's how my license works. I can send prescriptions wherever they need to be sent. I can also send labs and x-rays wherever those orders need to be sent. So again, I can send it to Garrison. I can send it to Hazen, all of those places. The next 5 years, what does that look like for me? Well, we did open up a small cash pay clinic in Detroit Lakes, and we're working on seeing what works and what doesn't work. Again, it's a cash pay clinic, but we're very open and transparent with prices. We're not going to nickel and dime you. What the price is what it is. We might even give you a discount. I mean, it's, but we're going to use that model to see if it's reasonable to be opening up other clinics throughout the state or throughout other states. So there's my contact information. As I've already said, I have my phone on me at all times. It drives my wife crazy sometimes, but that's what I'm here for. I want to make sure that my patients are being taken care of. I can call, text, email. My website's up there, and then the bottom one will actually take you directly to the virtual clinic. So if you need to be seen, I can do it on my phone. So thank you.
All right, let's give it up. Nice. Calm down. Thank you. All right. That's so cool. Thank you, Mick. I don't know about you guys, but my folks live in Walhalla, and I'm telling them about you. That's pretty cool. All right, now continuing on this whole role of health, and I love that you said, health is a team sport, and here to talk to us about the sport of health, we have two wonderful folks from Parks and Rec. In fact, we have the lady herself. We have Andrea Travnik, and you may remember that Andrea joined us. I think you were 1 hour into your career here as heads of Parks and Rec, and we were so honored to have you grace our stage. And she is back, and she brought a sidekick, Tony. They're going to come up, and they're going to talk to you about some of the fabulous outdoor activities, which I know for the last 2 weeks hasn't sounded like a lot of fun, but if you're looking at the extended forecast, I think it's time to get outside. Okay, you two, come on up. Let's welcome into the stage, all right?
Great, thank you. Oh, great. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us back. Like what was said, yeah, my first time here, it was my first hour on the job. So I had just moved back from Washington, D.C. and accepted this great position to work for Governor Burgum as the Director of North Dakota State Parks and Recreation. So been on board about 9 months now, so appreciate being able to be here today to talk a little bit more on the health side of things. We know with state parks, it gives an opportunity for people to get out there for kind of that mental health break, physical health break. We've got 15 different destination properties across the state that hopefully everybody gets out there and takes advantage of. We've got an audience here, so I just want to see how many of you have been to some of our state parks? All right, I'm loving it. All right, yeah, keep staying in North Dakota. I know that sometimes I get dragged over to Minnesota a little bit, but keep coming our way. And that's what's been so great about the pandemic. You got to look at kind of that silver lining a little bit. And this last year, we did have record visitation, 1.29 million visitors that came out to our state parks. We had seen kind of an average of an increase of 3 to 5% of visitors over the last few years coming in. And this year, we averaged about that 25% increase. So we really did see people staying in North Dakota, getting in their backyard, just appreciating what we have here for our resources. So as we get started, a little bit, I know we got Tony here. I'm going to let him do a little bit of a brief introduction, give him his time. But we're excited to be here. A little bit about our mission and vision. We want to offer diversity of recreation opportunities and sustainably manage our resources. So I have a PhD in natural resource management, but I also love the recreation component. So this job actually fits me pretty well right now. So I'm a big kayaker. I just got a new mountain bike since I'm back in the area. trying to get on those trails a little bit more, but at the same time managing the resources that we have at our state parks. Keeping up with assessing some of our trees, the noxious weed side of things. We really do have some of those unique areas. And at the same time, our vision, we want to make sure that we're enriching generations through experiences that connect people and places. So we want to make sure we have those areas for you to get out. Of course, with the pandemic, it was an opportunity to safely social distance from folks, but be able to still spend time with your family and friends. Because we also have an education side of things that goes along with our parks too. So just opportunities to learn more about North Dakota, learn more about the history of the areas throughout the state. What was really exciting about February, you talked about the last 2 weeks being pretty cold, but it was great. The governor trying to make sure that with North Dakota, sometimes we just think of our state parks kind of starting around that May timeframe going towards Labor Day, right? Well, no, we are a year-round destination. So we want to make sure that we're trying to emphasize that a lot more. So the governor did do a proclamation for us where he did declare the Winter Recreation Month was February. So I already failed as a director, though. I was hoping that we'd have a lot more snow out there. I bought new snowshoes this year, new snow skis. Yeah, snowshoes still have the tag on them. So at some point, hopefully try to crack those in a little bit. But that's where we wanted to come and remind you that you could still get outside right now. Yes, we had those negative-degree weather, but we still had a hike that took place at Fort Abraham Lincoln on Sunday. We had 14 brave souls show up and get out there. But just want to remind you, got the ice fishing. I was able to get out about 3 weeks ago doing some ice fishing, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, fat tire biking, snowmobile, and so much more. So just remember, you can still get out there. The weather is going to be a little bit nicer this weekend. And since I said snowmobiling, I'm going to pass it over to Tony so he can give you a little bit more about what we do on the motorized recreation side of things. Because I don't think everybody really realizes some of the other opportunities that state parks can do for you.
Thanks, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having us. So 2 doctors and then this guy for your presenters this morning. So I'll try to be brief, be heard, and be gone. But we do sponsor 2 important programs for off-highway vehicle recreation in North Dakota. One would be our snowmobile program. As the director alluded to, pretty dismal snow year so far this year, but we got our fingers crossed. But we have been partnered with Snowmobile North Dakota since about 1974, and we currently have 14 trail networks, about 2,800 miles, 32 snowmobile clubs. So if you want to talk about legendary North Dakota and destinations and getting your family out and enjoying exploring North Dakota from the seat of a snowmobile, once the snow helps us, we got the opportunity for you to do that. So very happy to have that. So currently about 10,500 registered snowmobile users in the state, about 1,000 here in the Burleigh County, another 500 in Morton, so about 1,500 here in Burleigh-Morton County. A couple things, we just started our strategic plan for the snowmobile program, so how can we do that better with a local company called Odney. So Odney Consulting is going to help us with that. And Bismarck is going to be the tracked vehicle test site. So currently our snowmobile trails are only open to snowmobiles, but as technology advances in the industry, produces different equipment, they're kind of converting some of the off-highway vehicles to operate on snow, so we want to test that interoperability between snowmobiles and OHVs on our trails, and we selected Bismarck to do that. So I do have a snowmobile brochure and some of our maps up front, and if you're free to take those, and if you want more, let me know, and I can get you some more. And I'll transition to OHV. That's probably our bigger program. So about 42,000 registered OHVs here in the state of North Dakota, 4,200 in Burleigh, which is only 700 less than the motorcycles that are registered in Burleigh County. So it is a big program with lots of opportunity. So the state does sponsor 3 riding areas. So we have one in Pembina, right, up by Walhalla, North Dakota. It's a beautiful, beautiful area with some scenic trails that you can take your family up to and make that a destination. Another one in Bottineau in the Turtle Mountains that you can drive up there, a nice parking lot, download, and enjoy it. And then here, just south of Fort Lincoln on the Rough Rider Trail. So a Rails to Trail program, so an abandoned railroad that became an OHV trail with destination. And you have your access to fishing and different things and camping. along that trail. So that's a wonderful trail system as well. a couple other trail riding areas that you can participate in North Dakota. Of course, we have the desert at Kimball Bottoms. So we're going to increase some of our law enforcement presence down there, so we can make the OHV riding a more pleasant opportunity. And then, there's these little hodgepodges around the state where people know where to go ride their OHVs and enjoy that. So, and we just did wrap up our strategic plan for our OHV program. So we are very excited to get after some of those objectives to make our program better for the citizens of the state. And then last, I'll just kindly quickly touch on our safety program. So Century Code stipulates that North Dakota Parks and Recreation conducts safety courses for youth, OHV, and snowmobile. I'm the guy for that as well. But we did about 1,000, issued about 1,000 certificates over the last 2 years, and it is a great opportunity for us to connect with communities, law enforcement, and develop a lot of those partnerships that we do. So if there's ever a need for anybody that wants to host an OHV or snowmobile safety course as an engagement opportunity, we'd welcome that opportunity with you. So, thank you.
Great, thanks, Tony. Yeah, and Tony's actually getting me out of my comfort zone because like I said, I'm more of a kayaker, biker, but I've gone on all those trails that he talked about on the OHV. So it's been great to get on the trails with him. We even did go get me all the snowmobile gear, but again, like I said, we just don't quite have enough snow for the snowmobiles. But it's been fun to just learn a little bit more about those motorized recreation sports, and want to make sure that all of you know that there's that opportunity in the state as well. So I want to talk a little bit more too about how we can get all of you involved with what we're doing at our state parks. So as we're looking to the future, trying to make sure that we're keeping up with those different needs and experiences that people are looking for, we have what is called a master planning process. So a lot of our state parks haven't had their master plans updated since the 1980s. So we're taking a really good concentrated effort on trying to make sure that we're getting those updated as quickly as we can. So I wanted to update you on some of the ones that we've been working on right now and the ones that are coming up for this next year for you guys just to kind of pay attention to and make sure you get involved with. So this next week, next Friday, we'll be kicking off our Fort Stephenson State Park. So this is our park that's up there in the Garrison area, located along the shores of Lake Sakakawea. And then also we're going to be working on the Crow Flies High State Recreation Area. This is a state recreation area that's up near Newtown, North Dakota. So right now there's a little bit of a trail, a little bit of an overlook, some signage up there. Really excited about this because we were able to work with a group to get a grant through the Outdoor Heritage Fund. So just a really beautiful area. It's an amazing overlook of Lake Sakakawea. And then also we've got our Icelandic State Park. So this is over on your eastern side of the state, more that Cavalier area. So that'll be kicking off this summer. We, right now, as of yesterday, opened up our Lewis and Clark State Park comment period. This one is up near the Williston area. So you can see that we're really trying to branch out, make sure we're covering a lot of those state parks. And this is just a really, like I said, an opportunity for all of you to get involved as those public comment periods open up. And we are wrapping up the Cross Ranch. I don't know if a lot of you have been to Cross Ranch State Park, but I hadn't actually been there until I started this job. And, it's just a quick drive. Hopefully you can see it. Quick drive to, dropped out. It's done. How about now? Died on us. So Cross Ranch State Park, that's just up there north of Washburn, North Dakota. So another great area. This is actually one of our ones that has the yurts. I know that a lot of people have been really excited about the yurts, and it's hard on the weekends. They've been booked up a lot, which is great. So we've got yurts at Cross Ranch and Fort Ransom State Park. But again, like I said, just a master planning process, a way to keep up with those changing needs, what we want the parks to look like. We're hoping that these plans last for about 10 years, and then we'll go back and revisit them. A few other things where I don't know if some of you have gotten our customer survey that came out this last year. Through the 1921 legislative session, we were given some funds to really take a good hard look at what our visitors, non-visitors are looking at and what those economic impacts are that are associated with our parks. We hadn't had an economic impact study done since 2012, so this gave us an opportunity to really make sure we're hearing firsthand from visitors and non-visitors. So this went out in December and January. So the visitor and non-visitor survey just completed the end of January, and then we also decided we really want to look at the community aspects that are associated with our parks. We know that the Main Street Initiative is is going on with Governor Burgum, and me having worked with the National Park Service, a lot of those communities are usually called, from the federal level, the gateway communities. So tying into that Main Street initiative, what are communities like Cavalier, Garrison, Washburn, what are they looking for from us, and how can we be a good partner? So I'm really excited to see what those results are. We're hoping that we'll get a draft of that come April, and then a final report out come May for all of you guys to take a look at. At the same time, with looking at those customer survey and the partnerships, we of course continue to look at from that local, state, and federal partnerships as well. So for instance, we just put out a press release yesterday. We're looking at Turtle River State Park. We have a new application called Adventure Lab. So you can usually get out there to do that geocaching. Well, now you can do it from your phone. So another opportunity to go learn different parts of the park while being on your phone, learning something new about some of the history. And so always looking for partnerships. So if any of you want to do something new at the park, don't hesitate to reach out. And finally, just want to also touch base on our volunteer program. This is a way for all of you to get out, whether it's an individual, a family, a business. I know that we've got businesses that are looking for some of those volunteer hours. So if you want to come plant trees, mow some lawn, do some painting, we've got a lot of different opportunities for you to get out, be a part of our community as we hope to continue to be a part of yours. And our most exciting thing that we've got going on right now too, besides just being able to get out to the parks just to enjoy on your own, we've kicked off a couple different adventure challenge and 12 month, 12 hike challenges. Again, just trying to recognize that we've got those year-round opportunities at our state parks. So our adventure challenge, we brought this back. This was back in 2018, and just we decided with everybody kind of being cooped up, what's another way to get out, learn about North Dakota? So your adventure challenge has everything to check off from cross-country skiing to doing a snow angel in front of one of our signs, trying kayaking, paddle boarding, just getting you out to all corners of the state that are associated with our parks. So this kicked off in January. And at the same time, we have our 12 months, 12 hike challenge. And for the last 5 years, we've been doing the 12 month, 12 hike challenge at Fort Abraham Lincoln. And this year we decided to just go to 12 of our properties, so all across the state, and 20 different trails that you can get out. And if you want to, you can still go do that same trail every month as well. But this is another opportunity to get out. We're hoping that if you do the 12 month, 12 hikes, that there's a medal at the end of it. And the Adventure Challenge, if you're one of the top 100 that have checked off a lot of the list and there's bonuses along the way, like there was a bonus in January, go build a snowman. And I think the bonus for February is go do a yoga pose at our state park. So lots of different exciting things to do there. And then what we're also working on is the Passport program. So this is a partnership with the Historical Society. We know that the National Park Service has a passport program for all their national parks where you go and you get your stamp. And because I've taken advantage of doing that, so we want to make sure that at North Dakota we've got that opportunity for all of you as well to get a passport. So we're working on that. Hopefully we'll see more on that coming this summer. But again, that other partnership opportunity for you to get there. So with that, I think that's where we wanted to end on. So just to give you a broad brush of the different exciting things that we've got going on at North Dakota State Parks. Like we said, not quite the entrepreneur, but we're trying to keep up with those changing needs, whether it's technology, whether it's looking at those different types of sports, education, interpretive. So it's always changing. So definitely take the time to get outside. Thank you.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot of similarities to you all. You all treat it like you own it, right? And there's all the planning and all of that. So, wow, look at this lineup. Isn't this great? All right. So remember, if you're feeling bold, actually it doesn't take bold. If you just want the microphone, Evan will bring it to you. He is our mic runner today. If you're feeling a little shy, remember #1MCND. You can send us your questions that way, or again, comment on the live stream. All right? And we have one already. Hey, Scott.
Hello.
Kick us off.
Thank you, everyone, for presenting today. That was fantastic. My question's for you, Mick.
Sure.
So I've got 3 questions I'm going to try and cleverly wrap into one.
Okay.
With your services, and so it's kind of technology-centric, but with your services, how do you handle things like basic vitals? 2 is, did you utilize an existing software platform to do that? And 3, did you get to piggyback off models in other areas that kind of answer some of those questions for you?
Sure. I appreciate the question. So as far as basic vitals, I don't take any with all of my visits. Unless I feel that they're warranted, I'll at least ask for a temperature. You know, most people, they have a thermometer at home. To take that a step further, if I'm ever concerned about a patient where they need to have hands-on, I'm going to tell them they need to go be seen. If I think that they need to have a blood pressure taken, somebody to actually listen to them, touch them, know what's going on in a more in-depth setting, I'm going to say the ER is a place for you, or the walk-in urgent care clinic is definitely the place for you. I know my capabilities on the platform, and I want what's best for the patient, and so that's one of those discretionary things that as a healthcare provider, I'm going to take it upon myself to make sure that they're taken care of. In addition to that, the platform that we're using is VSEE, so it's capital V, capital S-E-E, is the platform that we use, and we're renting. We purchased, however you want to describe it, but we have it branded as the Health Now. And we sort of piggybacked our business model off of Teladoc. I don't know if anybody's heard of Teladoc, but they're a big nationally traded company that's gotten a lot of attention as the pandemic, ensued. And so we sort of utilized their model, but VSEE does have other technology and capabilities, and they're ever growing to capture vitals, to set up a little location in a pharmacy, for instance, where we can do blood pressure, we can do thermometer, and we can check their heart rate, and it all gets transmitted to me. But we're just not yet at that stage. But that's where I use my clinical discretion as to whether or not where we should go from that first presentation. So.
Evan.
Follow up on that a little bit. Do you think there's opportunity going forward to create some partnerships maybe where you can do some referrals, but at the same time some of the people that do have that hands-on capability realize and recognize that the service you offer might help their patients as well?
I'm not opposed to it. I think that there is opportunity for it. The only struggle I see with that is when we're talking about partnering with other healthcare facilities. They're very territorial. Healthcare providers, we want what's best for the patient, but that's not always what's best for the bottom line, and I'm not taking shots at anything. It's the nature of healthcare. But when it comes to pharmacies and places like that, a lot of times that's where I see potential for opportunities where somebody who has some healthcare experience can have eyes on, or can facilitate that technology being there. So.
Thank you. So I'm sitting in the middle. I'm like, oh, I got questions for you guys. I got questions for you. Okay, I'm gonna pick on him for a minute. Okay, because he's on a roll. Okay. I love the statistics. So if I put that little interactive thing up there like that, what would be like the most common thing that ailment that people contact you for?
Their yearly sinus infection, their yearly bronchitis type thing that they have. I think people still don't really appreciate what telemedicine can provide. And not only just walk-in stuff, but I also want the primary care stuff, the ever-growing need for prevention. Be proactive rather than reactive. Let me be your primary care provider to give you that half-hour visit where it's just discussion. I'm not just looking for the walk-in. I want to treat your walk-in stuff. Right. I do. But I want to be able to be there to have those discussions with you that you wouldn't have otherwise had the time to take with your healthcare provider, face to face. So.
Well, then I'm going to segue over here for a second then. I'm going to guess there's a big reason that we declared February, right? Because there's this connection to what you all do and what he does. So I don't know if there's a question in there anywhere. Probably not. But I don't know. I mean, I think there are some statistics and probably some things that really drove that decision. Right?
No, yeah, I know now it's working. I noticed that too. But no, you're exactly right. I think living here in North Dakota, we know that sometimes that winter gets a little bit long. And, you're kind of inside a lot. And I think looking at knowing that January, February seems to be cold, and we definitely had it really cold the last 2 weeks. But just from a couple different aspects, trying to make sure that we recognize North Dakota as that year-round destination, but at the same time recognizing in February from that mental and physical health perspective that you can get outside, you can find a trail, you can buy some cross-country skis or some snowshoes, but we also have opportunities where you can rent them too, so you don't have to invest your own dollars, but come try them out. Fat Tire bikes. So we really do have those opportunities in your backyard. Considering here in the Bismarck-Mandan area, Fort Abraham Lincoln State Park, 15, 20-minute drive, and you're just outside right off the bat. So I think, yeah, a great opportunity for February to recognize that for recreation standpoint.
Well, I know from mental health, when we get on our fat bikes in the middle of the day and just go get out there a little while, I come back a new and very productive person. I think we've got a question. Aha, you've got the mic. Yes.
Hi. Am I hot? Okay, great. This is for Andrea and Tony. So one thing we discovered throughout the pandemic is that park and recreation are essential services because when everything else was closed down, our trails were open, our waterways were open. So moving forward, because I am a park commissioner here in Bismarck, how is the Bismarck and every other park district going to partner with the state to help educate people about the services that we provide and the mental health benefit that comes with being active in our community?
Great. Yeah, no, thank you for that, and thank you for your service, too. And you're right on. I think we saw firsthand that local park districts, state parks, national parks, really making sure that we worked hard to keep those open. I know at first there was trying to figure out, do we need to close these for a little bit? Because you did see some of the national parks having so many visitors come out, and they weren't prepared for that. I know from our standpoint, it was really hard to get some of our seasonal employees in right off the bat. But we were still able to have our folks out there on the front line, still having that 100% great customer service every day, because we were really excited to see people come out. And I think we want to continue to see that in the future, and I know that we will. So I think by continuing to have those discussions, we've got legislative session going on right now. And what's been great in the discussions that I've been in, I think people have really recognized, continue to recognize the value that these parks have for communities, for the state. So I think by continuing to have those discussions, because there's been discussions revolving around different grant programs. We know that with North Dakota State Parks, we have 2 federal grant programs that go through us right now that can go towards local communities to help put in new trails, to help put in ball fields, kayak type stuff, water sport activities. So there are those opportunities, but what's also being discussed is a community grant program that also gets filtered through the state park program for those political subdivisions. So it's been really positive from what I'm hearing so far this session, and maybe you're hearing some of the same things, but I think people do recognize that it's important to have those opportunities open and front and center, so they're close enough too for people to go and visit and do. So.
Question for you, Tony.
I have this for a reason.
Right? So, as an individual, I love ATVing and I love snowmobiling. I do both. And obviously, I appreciate the trails we have in the state. It's easier to obviously have snowmobile trails because in the wintertime, you're not having to worry about messing up fields and stuff like that. But is there any type of initiative to try and extend the OHV trail system? Because it's frustrating when, especially years like this, where you have thousands of miles of snowmobile trails, nowhere near as much OHV, but we can go multiple years without being able to utilize the snowmobile trails. So is there anything being done for the OHV trails to expand that network?
It was Scott, right? Yep, so Scott, we recognize that first, but so I'll kind of clarify why you can't use an OHV on snowmobile trails. So we enter some land leases with... For the different seasons. I thought the summer OHV trails. Okay, yep, so 2 points that came out of our strategic plan. Number 1 is informing the community of where you can ride, so having a larger capacity into informing what's already available for you to ride. And the second thing is how do we increase some of those riding areas. So I think to your point, you don't want to go drive all the way up to the Turtle Mountain OHV area, spend a half a day, and now you're driving 4 hours back. So how do we make that a destination for you, right? And so there's things that we're looking at. How do we connect with the Turtle Mountain tribe up there because they have an OHV area as well. And then connect through the highway right-of-way access to make that a destination. So, ride North Dakota first, come out, stay at Lake Metagoshi State Park in a wonderful cabin, jump on the ATV trail, and just spend the day up there with that community. So as we talk those Main Street initiatives and connecting people and communities to places and destinations and activities, those are the things that, number one, we recognize, and number two, that as part of the efforts from our strategic plan going forward, that's some of the things that we're going to try to incorporate. So.
We have a question from social media.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have, or yeah, so this is for you, Tony, probably. Can you rent a snowmobile or OHV vehicle from Parks and Rec?
So not at this time. We did kind of look at that from a a business model of, is that a feasible and sustainable thing for us as the Park and Recs to do? So we haven't made a decision at this time. It still will probably be in that research phase. And there's not a lot of places here in the state that would kind of rent those snowmobiles and off-highway vehicles either. So, but we're here to get you into that sport, right? So if it's snowmobile, get a hold of Snowmobile North Dakota and those local clubs. They would love to host you on their snowmobiles to get you and your family into that sport of snowmobiling. OHVs is a different story, but again, you can talk to your local dealers. Sometimes they do have some of the models that they have available for test rides, because again, they want to get people into that sport as well.
Awesome, thanks. So Mick, it sounded like Janya got an interesting letter from you or something. So what is your marketing strategy? I mean, it sounds like it's very personalized, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about it.
It's sort of, I don't have a quip for it, but we started out by, I joined the Chamber of Commerce here in Bismarck, Mandan, and I got the list from them, and I sent out my flyers, my brochures that I had that were targeting businesses to sell the subscription service to the businesses. So I sent out, I think, 700 or so of these handwritten, the envelopes were handwritten, and of course they were printed brochures, but I sent those out at the beginning last May, June, July, somewhere in there, and just sort of sent them out in 250 mailer waves. And I've been trying to get social media, trying to do posts on a regular basis, paid for a couple advertisements on social media, but just recently I did start some radio advertisement because I'm finally starting to understand advertisement better. And really, you have to have your brand known before you can really start targeting people to, once you see the demographic that's coming to see you, then you start targeting them more closely. But from my time in healthcare, the people that do see someone tend to be women, and their husbands when they're told to come, and people with children are the ones that really see. So, from an advertisement standpoint, we try to hit print all avenues. Social media is the freest and easiest at this point in time. But so yeah, I haven't sent out those brochures in a while, but yeah, the hand cramps were real. So
Still doing PT on the hand there. Evan.
Yeah, I've got one for Parks and Rec. Back to the OHV trails. The Pembina Gorge OHV trails are one of my favorite places to put two wheels. Real kind of neck and neck with Maatahay for me. And it's a multi-use trail, so we mountain bike that all the time, coexist very well with any ATVs out there. Are all of your OHV trails multi-use? Is that kind of the model going forward?
Yes, so all of our OHV trails are multi-use, and so it's just, just to your point, there's trail etiquette out there, so who yields to who. So that's an established trail etiquette, so OHV users would have to yield to you as a person on a mountain bike or another activity out there. So, all those trails are open. Rough Rider's open right now. It's beautiful. It kind of shows you that landscape of what the 7th Cavalry would have seen back in the day, and walk along the river in some parts, and it's just amazing. So, and I'll make another pitch for Fort Lincoln since I have the mic. So I saw in your slides that you can get on top of the Capitol and have this awesome view of the river and everything else. You can do that at Fort Lincoln too, from from one of the buildings out there. So come out to Fort Lincoln and look at the awesome views we have from there too.
Then I do also have one for Mick.
Mick, okay.
I guess when I think of healthcare and healthcare expenses, insurance comes to the top of my mind in terms of driving some of that. How were you able to get insurance? Was that a difficult process? And how does that contribute to your cost structure?
Are you talking like for my business?
For your business insurance, yes.
So the business insurance that I got was actually really relatively easy to obtain. I'm working with the Bain Agency. They've been fantastic, and they're really able to give me an encompassing plan. Yeah, it's malpractice, and so there's a lot. I mean, it's. I don't know what businesses pay. I don't have an idea for it, but I have been told that malpractice tends to be a bit more pricey than a lot of businesses. So, taking all of that into consideration, my visits are $59 per visit for those walk-in ones, and it's been working out so far because I also have some subscription plans that are providing me some of that passive, that monthly income. So some of those things are evening out, but I mean, I have no frame of reference. I just know that my malpractice it's a shot every year. So.
Great. Yep, we have a question back here.
Well, this is also for Mick. I work in healthcare now, but I also spent 11 years in the insurance business, and you say you're cash only and you help people with claims.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the challenges is because of fraud on the insurance side of things, they require a medical professional to send that information directly and not through the claimant themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So for people filing their own claims and not understanding how that system works, there ends up being a lot of phone time, a lot of hold time, and those type of things. How do you overcome those challenges as you're trying to promote a business? Because it really puts a lot of onus on your clientele or customer and a system that not many people understand. There's a lot of layers.
Yeah, most people in the insurance business don't really understand it themselves, it seems like, because there's so many different facets to it. But with regards to that type of, having people file their own claims, from the experiences that I've had with people wanting to submit their own claims, it hasn't been overly difficult. From what I've been told, it's been simplified because of the pandemic and because of the uptick in telemedicine visits. I've never dealt with it personally, but the costs that I've been, the cost of the visits on Health Now are usually reasonable enough that people aren't going to take the time to submit those claims, because most of the time they haven't even hit their deductibles, so they're going to have to pay that anyways, and insurance isn't going to pay them back anything. So I'm more than happy to help facilitate. I guess no one's asked me to help facilitate those submissions, but if that does start occurring, that's where I'm going to have to take a long, hard look at what's it going to take for me as a business, or for Health Now as a business, to start submitting claims to insurance companies. And again, I'm trying to avoid that, because then we get caught up in it's a process, and the cost savings are going to go right out the window as soon as I start doing that. And so I'm here for the patient. If the patient needs help with those types of claims, I'll do whatever needs to be done. And I wanted to get back to a point that you had asked. Is there options or potential for collaboration? Yes. I'm more than happy to make a phone call to their primary care provider and bounce ideas off of them. If I think somebody needs to go to the ER, I'm going to call the ER ahead of time and say, this person's on the way, here's your heads up, this is what I've found. I'm still on the phone with them, I'm still on a video visit with them, but they're on their way, that type of thing. I'm looking out for the patient. Are they going to send them back to me? The patient came to me, I hope they'll come back, but collaborating with other providers, that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to be doing. So to your point, I'm happy to help the patient submit those forms if that's what they're asking, and going back to the collaboration, that's what I'm here for. So.
Wonderful. Well, I'm having so much fun, but I looked at my watch, and we're going to have to start to bring this to a close. We always ask the same last question, and I think I'm going to start on the right this time, and then finish up over here. And the last question, it's behind you, but it's always, what can we, as a Bismarck-Mandan 1 Million Cups community, do to help with your success?
Great, yeah, I'll go first, then Tony can jump in there. But yeah, I think the main thing is to always just continue to challenge us, make sure that we are providing the experiences and the opportunities that you're looking for at our state parks. So I think coming with that excitement and new ideas, thought processes, we're really here to, for the state parks. So we're here for you, we're here for the public. So we want to make sure that we're being responsive to your needs. And then of course, looking for those partnerships, whether it's at the local, state, federal level, bringing those new ideas. So that would be my big overall pitch on that.
And I'm going to agree with exactly what the director said.
That is such a good strategy. But I think you would add, go to Fort Lincoln and go look at the view, right? Fantastic. You know how this goes, Tony. Good job. Okay, Ann, Nick, same question for you.
I guess it's give Health Now a try. Yeah, what else can you do? Call me, have a conversation. I'm looking for whether it's collaboration, partnerships. This is my full-time job. I'm doing other things to help make ends meet, but my focus is Health Now. So if you think that you have a business person or somebody else that owns a business that they've been struggling with healthcare or providing some type of coverage for their employees, give them my phone number. I'm set up a visit, talk with them. Yeah, spread my name. That's how I can. That's my ask. So.
Fantastic. Okay, can we give it up for these three, please? Woo. Thank you all so much for joining us, for talking about health, and everybody get out there, practice random acts of kindness, remember, and eat some cabbage, but don't steam it because it smells terrible. And then coming up, maybe we're going to keep this train. So if you don't take care of your health, maybe this is the warning. Next week, we're going to be talking about a couple of end-of-life kind of topics, all right? But I encourage you to read this quote, because I think that kind of describes what we're going to be talking about a little bit. So that's next week. We've got Blink and Bismarck's end-of-life doula. And then on March 3rd, come back for Lucid. This is a neat idea around marketing and selling larger items like boats, cars, real estate. And then on March 10th, we've got some downtown developers coming to talk about what's going on in building in downtown. All right, so that's our lineup. Let's just send them off the stage with big happy thoughts. Good job, guys.